Hello, I'm Charlie. I'm currently applying for the Cultural Representative Programme for 2023 to 2024. I have just finished my pre-screen interview. Actually, I did it a week ago. Today I'm going to talk to you about the whole process in as much detail as I can. I'm going to go over everything. Our year was the first year after COVID to go through the whole application process, and things are a little different than before COVID, so we were kind of blind with everything. We didn't really know what to expect, but I'm going to make a video showing every step of the process. So let me start off by saying well done if you've got to this stage. They do cut off a lot of people from the application process to the pre-screen interview. So anyone that's made it that far, congratulations. This is my first time applying for the Cultural Representative Programme. And when I saw that email inviting me to the pre-screen interview, I was, yeah, I couldn't believe it. I genuinely couldn't believe it. So, congratulations. The next step is to go to the Yummy Jobs interview in Epping, Essex. They will give you a date. They choose that date for you. Let me actually tell you what they said on the email, just to kind of give you a little. So make sure you check your junk emails. Every email from Yummy Jobs went to my junk email, and a lot to everyone else. Make sure you check your junk. I'm not saying be obsessive, but yeah, because you are going to be checking your emails every day, I'm not going to lie. I didn't know I actually got the email until a few days later, because I searched on Twitter something like CRP, and then I saw the emails went out like 5 days ago, and I was completely like, oh god, I didn't get it, I'm so sad. And then I just looked at my emails and I went, oh! I got the email for the pre-screen. So I was very, very excited. So they just said, congratulations, you've made it to the pre-screen interviews. Your interview will be held and it will be approximately 15 minutes. So everyone was speculating, everyone was thinking, oh my gosh, like what? 15 minutes? I've got to go all the way to Epping for 15 minutes. So let me make it clear, let me start. So years ago, you would have to go to Epping Essex and you'd be there the whole day. You'd have to do group exercises, group interviews, and then you'd make it to the solo interview at the end of the day. But nope, this email says you got a 15-minute interview. So I 100% understand that it is a lot of stress just for 15 minutes, but I can't stress enough how valuable it is to go. So there was people from Scotland, there was people from Ireland, they fly over, which is extreme, and I understand that it is very big ask from Yummy Jobs. However, they just want to see if you're going to make that effort. If you make that effort to that date, they're going to see that you can make that effort to move to America. So although it does seem a bit intimidating, don't be intimidated, because I'm going to tell you how valuable that day was. So you're given a time slot. So my time slot was 10 till 11. It works alphabetically, we worked out. So the first time slot was 9 till 10, then 10 till 11, 11 till 12, and it works with your name. So the A's, B's, C's were the first, C, D, E, second, and then it goes on. So that's how it worked for our day. I don't know if it's going to be the same every year, I don't know, but that's how it was for ours. So I was the second group of the day, and I am super glad that I was the second group, because it kind of got it over and done with. I feel like if we were towards the end of the day, we would be really nervous because you're just waiting around. But also, if you were there early, you would have had to get there at 8 AM just to make it for that 9 AM interview, because they do ask you to turn up a little bit earlier. So you have to bring your CV, a printed copy of your CV and a photo of yourself, and bring an item from your hometown. This was optional, but I think everybody did, just because they've asked for it, take it, and my advice, take it. Bring your enthusiasm, blah 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 blah. So, I'm going to talk about my experience. So, that is what they asked. Of course, they gave you like a month in advance, so you had a month to kind of get ready, hotels, train, however you're going to get there, get that sorted. So then came the day. So my interview was on the Tuesday, so I made my way down to London on the Monday. I went with a friend, and to save me like having just a trip there for 15 minutes and come back, I did actually spend the Monday sightseeing in London. I've been to London multiple times, but I just thought, let's do things we've never done before. So I went with my friend and we did loads of fun stuff on the Monday, and then on the Monday night my friend came back to Birmingham and I stayed over in London on the night. I stayed near London Euston, which was a mistake, but it wasn't actually, let me make it clear. So a lot of people get a hotel near Epping, so I think it was Harlow. Everyone was pretty much staying in the same hotel. I had no idea, I wasn't involved in the group chats. That is definitely group chats. My advice, go and join the group chats. There's a Facebook group, join there, and then there's everyone makes their own little chats from then based on interview times. I was very late to this, so I wasn't actually invited to the Facebook group, which is absolutely fine. But I found my way into the Instagram chat and everyone is so nice. I can't stress enough. Everyone's in the same boat. Everyone's feeling the same feelings. Everyone's just as excited, just as nervous. It's just a great way to vent. So I stayed in a hotel in London, near London Euston, which was absolutely perfect, to be honest, because I said goodbye to my friend at Euston Station on the night. Then I just went straight to the hotel. I chilled for the night. I'm going to insert footage now of my time in that hotel, because I did vlog in that hotel. So here's that footage now. Oh, let me clean my camera screen. One of the best for you all. Hello, I'm currently here in London Euston. I'm about 10 minutes from London Euston in my Travelodge. It's the night before my interview and I am really nervous. I just want to get it over and done with now. I'm in a group chat with everybody. Everyone's so nice and everyone's kind of feeling the same. A lot of people, I think almost everybody is in a hotel in Harrow, which is next to Epping. I'm not, I'm in London Euston because I've just had a day in London. Just been sightseeing in London because I thought if I'm coming here I might as well just make use of my time here and just go sightseeing. So I came here early today, the day before my interview. I went from Birmingham New Street to London Euston, explored London, did some things, and I came back here tonight. I've got my suit hung up on there just to kind of crease it out because my suit's been in my backpack all day. I'm gonna just revise tonight, and not like strictly revise, but just take some time going over interview questions, kind of practicing what I'm gonna answer. I've got a little Nutella for breakfast tomorrow. I'm just gonna try and eat it. I know I'm gonna be really nervous in the morning, but I just want to eat something before I leave the house. My interview is 10 till 11, so we're gonna get to Epping about 9, and we've said we're meeting in the Costa about 9 in like Epping High Street, which is next to the Yummy Jobs interview place. It's all real now. I've never been in a hotel room on my own before. This is my first time in a hotel room on my own. It's nice, it's just a Travelodge. It was £80, not bad at all. I'll hopefully vlog a bit tomorrow, so if I have, I'll insert it now and kind of talk over it. So yeah, thank you so much for listening so far. Today's the day. I've just got ready, I'm leaving in 2 minutes. I've got my suit on. I'm really nervous. I'm going to check out, I'm going to walk straight to King's Cross Station. I'm going to get the tube from King's Cross Station to like somewhere near, about halfway. Then I've got to swap over to the tube to Epping. I am nervous, I'm really nervous. The group chat's like pinging every 5 seconds just again. Today's the day that could change my life. So yeah, big day ahead. So let's go, let's get my things together. After the night in the hotel, I did wake up really quick. Well, actually, I woke up at 7. My interview time was at 10. So I had like 2 hours to get there because we were kind of meeting at 9 in the Costa / Starbucks in Epping High Street. So I left the hotel about 7:30, made my way to the tube station and got the tube to Epping. I did have a little bit of trouble on the tube on the morning. The tube, because Epping station is at the end of the line and not all tubes go to the end of the line, so it was a central line and I did have to get off the tube I was on, wait for 2 to pass and then get on the next Circle Line train. So it was a little bit of hassle, but it wasn't. I left the hotel really early just to make sure I have time and it was perfect, and I was actually there before anyone else, so don't worry too much. As long as you give yourself plenty of time, it'll be fine. But also, I didn't stay near Harlow, Epping, but I'm showing you that it did work. I did get there on time. So don't worry if you not staying near Epping. If you're in central London, it will work out okay as well. I am here, one tube stop away from Epping. The tube is completely empty, like this whole carriage is empty, it's just me on here. I am feeling the nerves now. I am early, I'm like an hour and 20 minutes early, but that's fine, we're all meeting in the floor. This is it. I'm happy I made it here. I wouldn't say without an issue. I did have to swap over a few times because the trains I was on was not going all the way to Epping, so I did have to get off halfway. I had to get 3 tubes to get to Epping from central London. I am nervous. I've never done a tube on my own, like there's no one here. This is it, let's go. Then we got there, we got in Costa and we were kind of taking over the Costa, and the staff member was extremely rude. I was kind of like, oh, because the Costa, it isn't a small Costa, but it isn't like a big Costa, and I 100% understand that when there's like a crowd of probably like 15 people like in the queue, it is going to get a bit hectic in there. But it was more of like the staff member was like, if you're going to be in here, you're going to have to move. Like, she was just extremely rude, and we all kind of like huddled in the corner of the room. So yeah, it did start off with a bit of a negative experience, and we're all like, oh, if they ask us in the interview, give an example of when you were given poor customer service, we'd all be talking about that moment. But anyway, we were all friendly. I can't stress enough, we were all so nervous, but we're all chatting and we're all getting to know each other. We're like, right, should we go around names? Even though we were all in the group chat together, I feel like I didn't stalk anyone enough. I feel like I just didn't know anyone at that moment in time, so I was just asking, oh, what's your name? What's your name again? What's your name? So we were all getting to know each other. I feel like I was the loudest person in that Costa because I was just nervous. And then we were all there and we were all just chatting and we were like, oh, hello. Whenever someone would walk in, we'd just make them feel welcome. So yeah. And then time flew by. We were like, right, we need to walk over to the Yummy Jobs building, but it wasn't in the Yummy Jobs building this time. So I've watched like multiple vlogs before, and there is a Yummy Jobs building right next to the British Heart Foundation. I'm guessing they've hired out a bigger room for these interviews now. So yeah, we did have to walk over to kind of, it was basically a shop, but it wasn't a shop. It was a like meeting room building, but it was like in an old shop. So as we were walking up to the actual building shop interview place, we were all a bit like, oh my gosh, because you'd see in the shop window people being interviewed. Like, the interview rooms were in the shop window, so when you were walking past you could see them being interviewed, and we were all like, oh my gosh. Like, I think that's when everyone started to feel like, oh my gosh, this is it, this is our interview. And we were all saying like, oh please, I don't want to be interviewed in the window. But it was fine. We were kind of at the back of our time slot group, like me and a few of the people, so we were sent upstairs. So half of the room was downstairs, half the room was upstairs. So a lot of the close group that I'm with right now were upstairs, and it was absolutely fine. When I tell you, the second you get there, I feel like a lot of nerves go, because you've made it, you've got there. The stress of being there on time, the stress of worrying if you're gonna make it there, the stress of, oh, if the tube's late, I feel like all that stress goes, and then there's nothing else you can do. I feel like we were all, like, none of us were revising, we were all just there like, there's nothing more we can do, we just gotta smash it in the room. But we were all just chatting, we were all supporting each other, we were all, because we arrived there 20 minutes before our interview time, so we had 20 minutes just to chill before anyone was called in for an interview. So we're all just chatting about our item, we're all kind of teaching each other about ourselves. I feel like I was definitely one of the loudest in the room, not on purpose, just because I was nervous. I don't know, I feel like I did have to kind of rein myself in and be like, alright, be quiet Charlie, because I don't want to like distract anyone or put anyone off. And then out comes Alexis, the high up Alexis from Yummy Jobs, and she walks out of the interview room and she just picks on someone She literally goes, I think you were first in the room, come forward. And then we were all like, oh my god, like we're gonna get picked, which is fine. It's fine. Like at the end of the day, we were kind of thinking like, oh, who would want to go earlier than later? And we all kind of said, oh, we all want to go a bit early just to get it over and done with. There was definitely 5 upstairs. I don't know about downstairs. I couldn't really see. We were just sent straight upstairs. But yeah, there was a lot of interviewers, and it was very quick. The whole experience. An interviewer would come out. Some interviewers would pick. Some interviewers would say, who wants to go next? So we kind of made an order amongst ourselves on who wants to go at what time. I was like, oh, I'll go quite early. So we all kind of had a plan. And we were all just so supportive of each other. Whenever someone would get up, we'd be like, good luck, you're gonna smash it. Like, it was just such a good community. We were all like, right guys, turn your phone on silent. We were all like, does anyone want gum? Connor asked everyone for gum, if anyone wants a gum, chewing gum. And we were like, oh, let's spit it out before we go in the interview room. So it was just a nice community. Everyone was so nice. I feel like the nerves of meeting everybody, or like the anxiety of that, was just gone. Because everyone was just getting on, chatting and just having a good experience with each other, which is exactly what you want. And it made me certainly feel a lot more comfortable, because I feel like when an interview room's silent, that's when the overthinking starts, the panic, the stress, the worrying happens. But I can't stress enough how the atmosphere in there was just amazing. I went in there thinking there's going to be a lot of girls and not a lot of boys. So I had that mentality like, oh, maybe the boys have got a better chance than the girls, because they're going to send about 50-50. In my head I was thinking they're going to send about 50-50, so they're going to want a lot more boys than girls. Well, they're going to, if there's less boys interviewing, the boys have got a better chance than the girls. So that's kind of what I was thinking. But when I got there I was like, oh, there's quite a lot of boys. There was a lot of boys, a lot more boys than I was expecting. So anyway, let's move on to the interview. So here, out comes News, and she goes, who wants to go next? And then I stand up, I'm like, oh, I'll go next. And everyone was like, good luck. And I went in, and then that was my interview. The nerves. I don't know what happened, because I was feeling really confident until I just sat in that room and I was just shaking. I was absolutely fine. The interview went amazing. I can't stress enough how well the interview went. It was a chat. It's a chat. It's a chat. It's a conversation. There's no interview questions that are kind of there to trick you. It's nothing out of the ordinary. It was purely them trying to get to know you, them working out if you're the perfect person for the role. They're asking you questions, of course. Everything they're asking you is what you would have practiced. Like if you go on Google and practice like 100 interview questions, every single interview question would be on that list. There was nothing out of the ordinary. It was all to do with the job. Yeah, so do not worry about the interview questions. Just practice how to do interview questions and you'll be fine. So yeah, News was so lovely. She made like a conversation. We were going back and forth, asking each other questions. They want to see how you're going to interact with customers. They're going to want to see how you are. My tips would be smile. I can't stress enough to smile. You have to smile. A lot of people just were a bit too chill and calm. Like, don't, come on, this is a Disney interview. They don't want to see that you're a massive Disney mega fan. They know that. But they want to see that you're passionate, you're happy, you're excited. You want to have that opportunity. They just want to see that you've got that personality that will represent the Disney company. So as long as you've done that, as long as you're answering the questions, I think you'll be absolutely fine. So don't stress too much. Don't, because at the end of the day, it's your personality that they're looking for. They're not looking for the perfect answers, the perfect interviewer. They're just trying to see if you're going to be a great fit for the role. Talk about your work experience in that interview. Talk about what you've done in the past. Have it all practiced, because anything that you want to tell them, what they want to hear. They want to hear that you're amazing at customer service. They want to hear that you're amazing at creating conversations, making people's day. They want to hear that you've got 5 years food and beverage experience, 5 years merchandise experience. They want to hear that. So definitely bring that into the conversation if they haven't asked already. Your item from home. Sorry, my phone's just pinged. So yeah, some people weren't asked about that item and some people were. I wasn't, but I did bring it into the conversation and made a whole conversation about it. So you have to kind of see how the interview's going and see how you can slip it in the conversation. Yeah, I talked about my item for a while actually, and I actually gave the interviewer news my item. And yeah, I was saying to everyone before, I was like, shall I give it to her? Shall I? What shall I do? And everyone was like, try it, like do a bit of bribery. And yeah, I did, but a lot of people did. Yummy Jobs put on their story like a picture of all the items and like food and things that they got for free that day, and we were all in the group chat like, everyone got a food shop today, and my item wasn't on the picture, so I was a little bit offended. But anyway, yeah, so your item, don't stress too much about it because they probably won't bring it up. Well, they definitely didn't. My interviewer didn't really bring it up. But yeah, take it just in case and learn a story about it. Let me give you a bit of advice for your item. I had a list of 6 items in advance, like this was like before my interview, and I was kind of bullet pointing what I can talk about each one, and I went with the one I could talk the most about. So you want to kind of have a story behind the item, how you can relate it to yourself if you've got kind of a story based on your past, and then learn a bit of history about the item. That's kind of the revision we all kind of did. So as long as you can talk about your item for about a minute, that should be perfect. Just relate it to the job if you can. If you can't, don't worry. They just want to see how you can tell stories to customers, to guests. The age range was quite young. I definitely don't think there was anyone older than 26 in our interview group. However, I did see pictures of later on in the day, and there were a few older people, but it was definitely young. But you can apply at any age. As long as you're over 18, you can apply. So definitely do it, because in my head, they're going to want a wide range of people to represent the UK. So if you are older, maybe you will have a better chance, because they're going to want a bit of variety there to represent the UK. Again, I'm not an expert, I'm just speculating, so don't listen to me. But definitely apply. If you want to apply, apply. The interview rooms, the window. So this is going to scare you a little bit, but don't be scared. The interview rooms are clear glass. So we could see into every interview room. Don't panic, it was absolutely fine. We weren't staring. Like, I don't think anyone was staring because we were all too busy conversating, which was great. Like, we did kind of look to see if like anyone was shaking hands. We did kind of look at that, but we weren't staring. So, and it's the least of your worries. Honestly, on that day, I don't think anyone cared if anyone was watching. But yeah, that was something that we weren't expecting, but we did see. Like, each interview room was just right next to each other, clear glass. So we could watch an interview happen, but we didn't really. So when I walked out of the interview room, I just remember feeling amazing. I thought it went really well. I just left and I went, really good. And everyone was like, how did it go? I was like, it went really good. And I kind of sat with everyone. I don't know if that was allowed, but I did. I just sat back down in my chair and I was chatting with everyone. And at this point, probably like half of us were done, half of the others were waiting to be called in. So I was kind of talking about what I was asked. But that was when we realised everyone was asked different questions. Yeah, so I was like, oh, they asked me this, 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 this. I don't know if I should have done that, but I did. And then everyone was like, oh, I didn't get asked that. I didn't get asked that. Oh, I got asked this. And then we were like, ooh. So each interviewer had kind of a different, I don't know how it worked, but everyone was kind of asked similar but different questions, different worded questions, different things. Like, some people were asked, oh, do they have tattoos, piercings? Oh, I wasn't asked that. Like, we were all kind of comparing what we were asked. So we kind of worked out that no one had the exact same questions. It was a 15-minute interview. It went so fast. Don't worry about the time, because 15-minute interview does sound a bit but no, it went super fast. It didn't feel like 15 minutes at all. And I feel like the nerves and adrenaline just pushes you through it. That was really it. I was chilling. I was waiting for like all of us to kind of finish, and then we walked over to Starbucks for a debrief. We were just in Starbucks for hours after. I can't stress how good it felt to just be done. And when I say like, oh, we went there for 15 minutes, it sounds a bit, but we were there the whole day. We went in Starbucks for like 4 hours after our interview, and we were just chatting away. We were chatting for so long. It was amazing. I can't stress enough how nice everyone was. We were just relieved. And Starbucks, of course, had like all people ready to go for their interview the whole time. And we were like, good luck, guys, good luck. We were all just a big family. And we were all there like, oh, it's gonna hurt so much if we don't get through. It's gonna be so hard. And we're all really heartbroken to think about that. but I was probably a little bit too happy with everyone. And in Starbucks we were kind of just chilling for hours, and then on the side they had like little brochures and leaflets, and they had an Epping town centre one, and I was like, can you sign this for me? So I went around our group and I got everyone to kind of sign this booklet, and we were all just looking through it, and like we were looking at everything and we were like, oh, like it's a little memory to go in our little memory book. Even if it doesn't go to plan and we don't get through, at least we've got like a good memory of the day. And then we looked and we saw this like Mickey, and we were like, it's a sign, we're doing good, it's a sign. And yeah, I don't know if you can see, but everyone like signed their names. I'm in the view. Everyone signed their names and we're all like, oh. But like, I feel like the more we did, the more that we were like, oh my god, if we don't get through, we're gonna be heartbroken. And they told us, you'll hear back in a week or 2 weeks at the most. Tell me why 3 days later emails went out. That will come in a second. But yeah, we were all like, what? The group chat was blowing up and everyone was pinging, and I was at work. I think most of us were at work, and it was just like, emails have gone out, emails have gone out, emails have gone out. And I didn't get an email because my emails just don't work on my phone for some reason, and I can't see any junk emails on my phone. I'm gonna have to sort that out. Anyway, so I'm at work, I'm trying to log into Hotmail. It's probably because I have a Hotmail account, not gonna lie. Hotmail, I'm googling on Hotmail on Safari, and I'm kind of trying to log in. I'm trying to open everything while I'm at work. I'm just stressed. I'm like, oh my god, I don't think I've got in because I didn't get an email. And there it was, I got through. I can't believe it. I'm genuinely, my heart is pounding with joy and exhilaration and nerves, and I can't believe I've made it this far. Genuinely, I'm just so proud of myself. I'm so proud of everyone else because a lot of us got through. And then it is also bittersweet because a lot of people didn't as well. A lot of people got cut off this time. So it's kind of hard to celebrate in the group chat, especially when a lot of people haven't. It's one of those things. But we can't stress enough how amazing it is to get to that Yummy Jobs section. If you get to that Yummy Jobs pre-screen interview, look how far you've made it. You've made it. Thousands of people have applied and you've been shortlisted to that section. You've had an amazing time in London. I know it's heartbreaking. I know you've invested into like a hotel, travel journey. What an experience. You've interviewed with Yummy Jobs. You've got that experience under your belt. And not only that, is if you apply again, Yummy Jobs will most likely remember you from last time and you'll have more of a chance. So don't let it affect you for too long. Just focus on how you can progress further in the future. Of course, at this moment in time, I am awaiting my date for my next interview in Hammersmith, London with the Disney recruiters. And yeah, that was my day at Yummy Jobs headquarters in Epping, Essex. Hopefully next time I will talk to you about my Disney headquarters interview. Thank you so much for watching. I love you so much. Thank you. Bye. Good luck if anyone's in that position. You're gonna smash it. Thank you.